Welcome to Mainland, your regional television station. In today's news, a Brightwater man is killed in a weekend accident and has been named. Police open their doors for a national event. New water website gets Mayor's approval, and second-hand Sunday trial this weekend. Emergency services were called to a Wakefield address around 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, where it was reported a 26-year-old man had been crushed by a log. The man and a colleague had been doing maintenance work on a church property. He was taken by ambulance to Nelson Hospital, where he died as a result of his injuries. Police released the name of the man this morning who died after being crushed. He was Robert Charles Cave, aged 26 years, of Brightwater. The matter has been referred to the coroner. Hoax messages should be ignored, police say, after a message has been circulated on social media warning that households are being robbed at gunpoint. Police have received a number of reports about the message, particularly in the Auckland area. The message claims that 3 to 4 men are visiting homes offering to install energy-saving shower heads or change light bulbs. They then rob the household at gunpoint. Police say there is no basis in truth to the message, which is reported to have been in circulation since 2012 and originated overseas. Anyone who sees the message should ignore it and not pass it on. Police are also aware of a hoax text that has gone to multiple people in the Auckland area, claiming that Watercare servicemen are being impersonated and they are armed. Again, this is completely untrue and the text should be ignored. I spoke earlier to internet security expert John Parsons about some of the scams that have been happening online.
One of my concerns is for people that become isolated. And I do work with grandmothers and grandfathers and senior citizens that have joined online dating sites, perhaps to find a companion. And I've worked with, for example, you might get a grandmother that's been married for 30, 40 years and her partner dies. And then 2 or 3 years later, she seeks to find a companion and she goes to one of these online dating sites and starts to talk to somebody that she thinks has got a lot of commonality. And they form a relationship on the internet and start talking to each other. She becomes very nurturing towards that person, and it's actually a cyber criminal. And at some point, he will start to extract money from that person. And it could be $4,000, $7,000, $8,000, $20,000. I've seen those amounts be given up. And once that starts to happen, that grandmother is in a very difficult position. Often the family around her becomes frustrated with her and suggests that she's stupid, and she's not stupid. She's been deceived and manipulated. You think about that woman that has had a partner for 30 or 40 years. She loses her husband and she's simply trying to seek companionship, and she has been deceived by a master manipulator. And the lengths that they will go to continue that deception and extract more and more money. For example, she may at the start talk to 3 or 4 profiles in the online dating site. And she engages one particular person and they start talking, sharing photographs, and she starts to form a relationship with that person. And then we come along to work with her because we realise that she's in danger and she could be in danger of losing her entire home. And when we work with that particular person, we have to let them know that there could be 2 other profiles that will engage her the minute she becomes non-compliant and stops talking to this first person. Because what has happened is there are 2 other profiles behind the criminal, and it is actually the same person. So when number 1 profile fails and steps back, number 2 or number 3 will re-engage that target or that person, and then the person thinks, well, this person's a nice person. It's actually the same criminal. Those are the lengths that they will go to keep talking and connected to this person. And we have to work with the whole family then, because the whole family has been put at risk. The grandmother has given out pictures of her grandchildren, perhaps where her son works. All of that personal information is available to that criminal to keep on manipulating that person. And we often have to reformat computers because viruses and keyloggers have been put onto the computer. We have to get the person to change their landline, give them a new cell phone number, change their Facebook account settings, because at some point down the track, 6 months later, that criminal will try to reconnect with that person again. They will go to Google Earth and look at the kind of home that that person lives in to try and get an idea of wealth and assets. What is in their mind is when they talk to a senior citizen or a person in a dating site is, they are asset rich and isolated. They see them as somebody that has climbed over a mortgage, that has access to money or funds, and they are on their own. One of their motivations is to isolate that person from the rest of the family. So when arguments start, that empowers the criminal. I urge all families that may have somebody in their home that is in that situation, stay as close to that person as you can and get help for them and support them through that process.
Have you seen anyone lose their home through this kind of fraud?
I haven't seen a home lost. I am aware of information that has been reported to me by a family that there is a gentleman that could be on the verge of doing that unless we're able to change his behaviour in some way. But when they believe that they have met somebody that they can spend the rest of their life with, that is a very powerful thing for that person to be feeling and experiencing, and they will often view us as somebody that wants to break that relationship. Certainly people have lost lots of money. They've lost their inheritance. In this community there are people today that are being targeted relentlessly, and there are victims who are senior citizens that are losing money. That is a fact.
A hitchhiker from the Mediterranean, the fanworm, has joined exotic weeds, many of which seem to have come from Japan, that have arrived in our Nelson Harbour. The Nelson City Council and the Ministry for Primary Industries are urging the owners of moored boats to play their part in keeping top of the South Waters free of invading marine pests. The call follows a third check of Nelson Marina for the presence of pest species, in particular the unwanted Mediterranean fanworm. It is a species that forms dense populations affecting nutrient cycles, displacing native species and potentially affecting our aquaculture industry. It is well established in Lyttelton and Auckland harbours. A routine check of the area's coastline last November was carried out by NIWA for the Ministry of Primary Industries, and that was when they first discovered the fanworm had arrived in Nelson. Kathy Walls, MPI's senior advisor, said that a single immature specimen was found by divers under a pontoon at the Nelson Marina. As a result, Council and the Ministry of Primary Industries commissioned a more exhaustive search of the area later in November, which uncovered 11 further fanworms in the marina. It was then decided that it was prudent to carry out a second survey in autumn before the winter spawning season. This allowed any small worms which might have been missed during the first check to grow to a detectable size. Results were received from this autumn survey last month, and divers found a further 22 worms in the marina. Although most of the worms were found growing on the underside of pontoons, one large worm was found on the keel of a vessel moored in the marina. Nelson City Council's Manager of Environmental Programs, Chris Ward, said that this is where the boaties come in. Marine pests such as the fanworms are easily transported to new locations on dirty boat bottoms. As these recent detections of fanworms have been in the Nelson Marina, Council asks that boat owners berthed there pay particular attention to cleaning and anti-fouling their boats regularly, especially if this hasn't been done for a while and there is visible biofouling on boat hulls. And it's not just recreational vessels. Earlier this year, fanworm was found on a general cargo vessel which was in Nelson for maintenance. Its hull was carefully cleaned of all fanworm when it was slipped to remove any threat of it establishing in Nelson. Mr Ward said for this very reason, Council are also asking owners and operators of commercial vessels to ensure that these vessels are regularly maintained with good, effective anti-fouling in place. It's important that sea chests and other niche areas are regularly maintained. Council requests that if boaties do spot anything that you may be concerned about that could be an unwanted organism, please report it to the Ministry of Primary Industries Exotic Disease and Pest Hotline on 0800 80 99 66. Second-hand Sunday is coming this Sunday, the 15th of June, 9 a.m. until midday. Both the Tasman District and Nelson City Councils are running the Second-hand Sunday event this weekend as a trial to see if it's a practical way for people to pass on items which would otherwise end up getting to landfill. This is a great opportunity for people to have a think about what things you no longer want, but can't sell. The old saying goes that one person's trash is another person's treasure. This idea is simple and is much like running a garage sale from your home, but with no money involved. You do need to register. Registration details can be found online at nelson.government.nz/services/rubbish/secondhand-Sunday. Or if you can pick up a registration form at Tasman District Council's Richmond office. The list of householders taking part will be publicised in local newspapers and on council's websites. A full list of households taking place will be available online from Thursday the 12th of June. So how does it work? Just like a garage sale, you put your items on the driveway on the day from 9 a.m. through to midday. When you register, you will be able to download or collect a letterbox poster advertising that you are taking part in Secondhand Sunday. Anyone looking for items will be able to download the list of householders taking part and come out on their very own treasure hunt. If you have anything left at the end of the day, and councils hope you don't, then you can bring it back in, as it is still your responsibility to take your things away. Registrations can still take place and are open until 5 p.m. on Thursday the 12th of June. A new waterway website has lifted off. Nelson Mayor Rachel Reese has thrown her support behind the Land, Air, Water Aotearoa, which is otherwise known as LAWA website, taking the opportunity in her monthly Mayor's Report section of the council meeting to show how it works. She said it is a fantastic initiative that Nelson's council wants to get right behind. Water quality is something council are committed to improving. The website will also allow the community much better access to all the information they need to check the health of the region's rivers. The Mayor is hopeful it will also help raise awareness of how everyone can do their part to keeping our rivers and streams healthy. Nelson City Council is involved with the LAWA site, which was launched in March. The site displays the results of water quality monitoring for rivers throughout the country. It is a collaboration between New Zealand's 16 regional and unitary councils, the Ministry of the Environment and Cawthron Institute, along with Massey University. Its development was also supported by the Tyndall Foundation, a philanthropic family foundation after co-founder and warehouse retail chain creator Sir Stephen Tyndall experienced difficulty in accessing clear information about the state of New Zealand rivers. He said at the time of the website's launch that he has a personal interest in this project because of his love for swimming and his love of New Zealand waterways, actively spending every summer holiday with his family around the water swimming, fishing and kayaking. A New Zealand first, the LAWA displays state and trend information for over 1,100 freshwater monitoring sites, giving the public access to all of the country's water quality monitoring in one place and in a common, easy to understand format. You can check out the Nelson section of the LAWA at www.lawa.org.nz. If your weekends are boring, help is at hand. The New Zealand Police are having an open day this coming Saturday, June the 14th, as Police National Open Day is launched, during which time all police districts will showcase modern policing. People can also engage with New Zealand Police online, learn about the range of work police are involved in, and find information about the open day events taking place around the country via the www.police.government.nz/open day website, or check out the district's local Facebook page. The Kiwi Pro-Am 2014 Country Music Awards is to be held at Hamilton's Founders Theatre on Saturday the 16th of August, and Kiwis across the country have now been asked to put forward their nominations. This year's awards event will feature some of New Zealand's brightest country music stars in the annual star-studded Red Carpet Awards and Show Night. This year's special guests include the Howie Morrison Trio, Pat and Brendan Dugan, Leslie Nia, Kylie Austin and Australia's Morgan Evans, who toured recently with Taylor Swift. Also performing on the night will be the 2014 Horizon Award nominees Cameron Luxton, Sarah Conlon and Daniel Cosgrove, as well as the 2013 Horizon winner Cameron Scott. Members of the public are being invited to take part by nominating your favourite country music artist via Facebook through their Kiwi Pro-Am Country Music Association Facebook page. Local musician Ali Cook is of course a nomination for Best Female Country Artist, and her group the Sou'westers have also been nominated in the Best Group category. We leave you now with some of their music.
Means the world to me
If this love is true,
all the hearts set free.
starting anew,
And if we both agree, we can do our love
let's do
love is sharing their lives. No need to disguise the look of love in their eyes. We do our love is do. Love is great the new day in a lover's cafe. Love and live in this way. We do our love is do. Just me and you. And I hope and pray
we will both find
there will come a day
we can
do our lovers do. We can do our lovers do. We can do our lovers do. Little things you do,
the way that you smile,
maybe me and you.
perhaps in a while
If you wanted to,
we can do our lovers do.